It's been 1 week, 5 years, and I miss hockey a lot right now. So I think it's about time that we... I thought it'd be fun to rewatch this game in its entirety because, you know, and also to kind of narrate what was going on in my life through this game. We have a cup and like that alleviates a lot of this, right? Something that San Jose doesn't, which I mean, hey, they might soon. They're rebuilding really well. It does help that they've won the lottery, but so yeah, we're just gonna go for it. But first I'm gonna make some popcorn. I miss NBC, specifically their like presentation, and Doc Emmerich specifically, oh, Martin Jones versus Marc-Andre Fleury. San Jose's new jerseys are so much better than their old ones, for sure. Stastny, Stone, and Patches. What a line. To this point, Vegas was up 3-1 in the series. They lost game 6, only allowing 2 goals, Marc-Andre Fleury, which is the first time in San Jose Sharks history, up to that point, that they had won the playoff game with scoring 2 goals or less. So, you know, 0 for 20 before that. Man, all these names. We still have McNabb Theodore, but Colin Miller, John Merrill, Derek England, there's Marshy. Oh no, oh no. Hey, Golden Knight Tomas Hertl, Barclay Goodrow. I have a friend that looks exactly like him. It's uncanny. There's the misfit line, Smith, Carlson, Marchessault. Shot. Wow. That first shot was dangerous from Marchessault. Really good play from the misfit line. Wow, LeBanc. Just trading chances there, Vegas and San Jose. Delayed penalty, so San Jose gets the first power play. I'm gonna have flashbacks about anything that I say here. Okay, everyone talks about the Vegas Golden Knights' turnover, but San Jose doesn't have most of these guys either. So like, Couture is the only one that's left. Ton of wasted time there. Vegas, a really good penalty kill here first. Tomas Nosek. I love that guy. Currently a Florida Panther now. Along with Nate Schmidt. Cool. I just heard Ray Ferraro say excellent kill here by Vegas, which makes me sad. That was a really good move from Hertl. McNabb cross-checked him. Another penalty to Vegas. Yeah, McNabb, what are you doing, dude? That was a terrible choice. Alex Tuck. I love that guy. Hope he does well in Buffalo. Couture slap shot from the point, Fleury save. Man, okay. I remember quite a bit from this game. I did not remember that we had given them 2 power plays early in the first to start the game, back to back. That's insane to me considering how this game ends. Wow. Wow. I bought the game on Amazon Prime. It was like $3 for the game. So I don't know what kind of replays they're gonna be showing or how that's gonna work. It's a lot shorter than a normal game, obviously, from that, even though it goes a full overtime. But Fleury makes the initial save, it trickles past him, and then number 20, Sorensen, has an opportunity to poke it past, but Fleury with a desperation dive keeps his glove on the floor of the ice and keeps it out to keep the tie at 0-0. Every team that scored first in this series won the game until game 7. I'm not spoiling anything for you guys, right? You know what happens. Like, this is one of the biggest moments in sports in the last decade. Like, everything about it. Like, everyone knows. Is that Brendan Peary? Holy moly. Wow. Schmidt from the point sends it on. Nosek tries to tip it in, and it... Oh, that's right. I forgot. You used to be able to play without your helmet. I mean, obviously I didn't forget that that was a thing because most of the highlights from the 60s have no helmet, right? But your helmet got knocked off and you could just keep playing. And Kevin LeBanc has, through the first 10 minutes of the first period, been the best player on the ice. Vegas, overall, doing a really good job of shot suppression and blocking shots. But San Jose has been all over them for the first half of this first period. There it is! William Karlsson. Riley Smith with the puck, circles on the right side, sends it on, It plops down right in front of Carlson and he buries it past Jones. This is right off of a face-off after an icing from San Jose too. Carlson tips it on the way there, bounces off of Jones. The rebound's perfectly in front of Carlson, who, like, stretching out for it, taps it in. And it's 1-0 Vegas halfway through the first. Pete DeBoer. At this point, he was only 2-0 in Game 7s. And this was Gallant's first. Yep. I was wondering if they were going to call that. I didn't see anybody's hand up, but Erik Karlsson tripped Brendan Peary. And, like, they just didn't... No one reacted. This was also the first time that the San Jose Sharks have forced a Game 7 after trailing 3-1 in the series.
You never complain about a power play, but you don't necessarily want two in the first 5 minutes.
Did DeBoer just complain about getting 2 power plays in the first 5 minutes of the game? Tuck gets called for a penalty that then removes the rest of the power play, so it's 4-on-4, but I don't know, that's weak. That's a weak call. They're both going towards the center of the ice. 2-on-1, Schmidt tries to send it to Eakin and it's broken up. Right after Fleury stops, right on the doorstep chance from Edward Vlasic. I cannot stand Evander Kane. And the funny thing is before this game, well, before the series, the year before I was like, Tom Wilson, but I didn't even know. Vegas' penalty kill is 3 for 3 in the first 16 minutes of the game. Granted, the third one was an abbreviated 50-second one, but the contrast there for Martin Jones, in his 3 wins, he had a .953 save percentage, but in his 3 losses, he had a .796. I forgot, Martin Jones had a 6-year extension with San Jose. That's crazy. I'm surprised that wasn't a trip. I didn't get to see a good look at it, but to be honest, it's a Game 7. And the refs have called 4 penalties in the first period. I don't know what was going on the entire first period. There's only 7 seconds left. San Jose really seemed to be the team driving play. Vegas had a couple of chances here and there, but it wasn't really anything big. San Jose seemed to just be the team that was in charge, and yet, despite having the extra power play time, they're going into the second period down by a goal, which is the only thing that matters, especially in a Game 7. Also, that Fleury Vegas mask, like, was just so good. Bucket list item of mine to be able to have a replica of that. Goalie masks are so expensive though, but yeah, what a mask. I love that. William Karlsson had the most ridiculous inaugural year with us, with the 43 goals and everything, but at the same time, like, he's so good. He is a really good two-way forward center and just does his job really, really well. So I don't get the amount of hate that he gets. Like, obviously you want a little bit more production from him, but for what he provides defensively, it's the $5.9 million that his contract is, it's still ridiculous value. 2-on-1, Vlasic, shot, Fleury, glove save. Meyer couldn't get the rebound, but he hit the boards hard. He popped back up, but he looks a little bit like he got the wind knocked out of him. Fleury, like, pump faked with the puck because Nyquist was behind the net in front of him. It was like there were 2 Golden Knights and Nyquist for the Sharks, and it was just really funny, especially because of the whole goal that he allowed against Montreal in that Game 5 in the semifinals. Hertl has taken a lot of abuse from the Golden Knights in this game already. Like, 2 cross checks, he blocked a big shot there, and again, he waived his no movement clause to come to Vegas, and that's kind of just interesting. Nate Schmidt on the back check did a really good job preventing Meyer from getting good stick on to that puck. Wow, that puck pinball on its way to the net, kind of. Just like, it hit someone in front, became off speed, Jones wasn't ready for it, but he made the save still. Wow. Really good puck movement from the Sharks to give them a chance, and then Meyer just missed it. I really miss hockey. Like, I know what happens in this game, and obviously the Golden Knights are winning right now, and I'm somewhat enjoying myself watching this, even though there's the absolute existential dread just building in my chest. When the next 2 Vegas goals happens, it'll just continue to get worse from here, but yeah, I am really looking forward to the season starting. Vegas has definitely done a lot better the second period of dictating play. But the chances that they've given San Jose have been, like, A++ chances for San Jose. Ridiculous. Oh. I don't know. Well, that's not a good angle, but Ryan Reeves got called for tripping Martin Jones, who skated out of his crease. That angle didn't really show anything that bad. It just looked like he tried to go around Jones and clipped him, I guess. It sent both of them to the ice. Like, I don't think Reeves gets the benefit of the doubt. So, like, I'm not trying to say he didn't mean to do it. I'm just saying, I don't know, like, that's a weird call in Game 7. Obviously, you want to protect goalies, and it left Jones out of his crease by a bit. And so if Vegas got a turnover, that would have been very detrimental for San Jose. But this is already their 4th power play, and Vegas has had 1. And based on the way that refs typically call playoff games, especially Game 7s, that's ridiculous. One too many passes there from San Jose. I would have liked to have seen them shoot that faster. But they're only down by 1, and with the amount of power plays they've been given, there's no reason to think that they're in any rush to score here. And that'll kill their penalty. Penalty kills 4 for 4. That power play for San Jose shifted momentum. Like, Vegas wasn't really able to get a ton, but they were definitely more on top of the plays in the second period up to that point. But now San Jose has just got a ton of momentum. And Vegas is going to take that momentum out from under them here soon. I don't know why I'm doing this. There it is, goal 2. Cody Eakin wearing a full-on cage, tips it in front to go past Jones, making it 2-0 at exactly halfway through the game. Tuck wheels around back to Theodore, controversial, because McNabb sends it on and Eakin tips it. It's at crossbar level. I want to cheer because, like, as if I'm watching this game live. But my immediate reaction was, yeah, good call. The image of Couture, I'm just blasting past this because it's burned in my mind. This image of Couture going, that's 1, to the bench, to all the San Jose. And every time I see him, Meyer, glove save Fleury. Sorry to interrupt my train of thought, but I love Marc-Andre Fleury. Like, my son's middle name is Fleury. I love this dude, his personality, his character, his flair. Say what you will about the whole Peter DeBoer, Sword, Alan Walsh stuff. Like, he was my favorite player before he joined the Golden Knights. He's still my favorite player now, and I love that dude so much. And the fact that he got to play for my hometown team and was just a face of the franchise for 4 years, I cannot express how much that means to me, which is weird because sports, every time I see Couture, think of him, even now, but like all throughout this game, just that picture burn into my mind keeps coming back up, and it makes me sad. What a call. That guy could steal the hubcaps off of a moving car. Mark Stone was a finalist for the Selke this year. Like, he's so good defensively. Listen, I know how the league in general feels about him given the whole LTIR stuff. And I can't blame them in one sense of the thing. However, he's not faking any injuries, A. B, like, he is, when he is healthy, is so unbelievably good, which is why I know that the way he played in the playoffs, despite getting the first goal in the series against Dallas, like, he was not healthy, because he is unbelievably good. He is able to do stuff defensively that is reminiscent of Pavel Datsyuk. Wow. Justin Braun, number 61 for San Jose, just whiffed on the puck. I'm seeing these chances and thinking, like, man, if they had that one, if that goal went in, like, if they had one extra goal, but what ifs? I don't like them. San Jose was the 2 seed in the Pacific Division, Vegas the 3rd seed. A really good series from the sense that it built a rivalry. This was the second time these two teams had met in the playoffs in Vegas' second year of existence. And these two fan bases hated each other after this series, especially. It was just ridiculous how these teams also hated each other and just fueled into that rivalry that Vegas's first ever Game 7. But also, I remember, I'm going to say this now because I don't know if I'm going to remember anything after watching whatever happens. I know what happens in the third and overtime, but I remember seeing a ton of comments. I didn't have Twitter at this time because I literally made an account to keep up with updates on the Golden Knights. But on like Facebook posts and the NHL's Instagram and all this stuff, like a bunch of people, fans from across the league saying, like, welcome to the NHL Vegas. Obviously, like, a lot of people disagreed with the penalty call, which is why there was a rule change in place. There was no sympathy for blowing, allowing 4 goals on one major power play. So, like, there's both aspects to that. As the second period ends, a lot of fans across the league were saying, like, now that you've experienced heartbreak, you're truly franchise in the NHL, which that didn't last because Vegas went right back to winning the next year. Like, it's just funny that a lot of people were saying Vegas is now an NHL team, and yet we still get comments all the time now, even after winning a cup, and it being 7 years, which is the length that it takes for some people to get their medical degree. Which is just insane to me that we still don't know hockey. That the arguments can definitely be like that we're a spoiled franchise and that we haven't really experienced the true heartbreak of a rebuilding. When you're rebuilding, like, it sucks to watch, sure, but I feel like you know that you're rebuilding. So even though it sucks and it hurts, like, you know that that's what you're doing. Whereas this kind of a heartbreak is just way worse in my opinion. I would rather make the playoffs and be able to experience this kind of heartache than rebuild, but like this is worse. And so, like, the fact that a lot of gatekeeping fans have said, like, you need to go through miserable years in order to really it will not matter. Vegas will go through a rebuild and teams will still find ways to just hate on them for things that happened decades ago. Like, it just won't matter. That's funny. Ferraro saying they can't give up a third one. Thornton, poke check by Eakin, grabs the puck anyway, just turns around and flings it on, but he sends it wide. So I guess it wasn't on, but there's Eakin. Shot. I forget when and who scored the third goal. I'll remember as soon as I see it form, but man, I'm seeing third period and then the time, and I know when that major happens. Fleury desperation dives. I don't know if he needed to there. Gets his stick back. He lost it. Vegas has outshot San Jose 3-0 in the first 3 minutes of this period, but San Jose has had more. Like, that chance from Cody Eakin was fantastic, a grade A opportunity. But every face-off in that end, with the third period, my anxiety is just really building right now. I know what's coming. Wow. They're probably gonna skip a lot of the review time when that eventually happens. The puck was all alone in the blue paint after Fleury made the initial save, and Vegas got to it first and knocked it out. Patches, and less than a minute after that opportunity for San Jose, Pacioretty snipes one past Martin Jones to score, making it 3-0 Vegas with 16 minutes and 24 seconds left to go. Chipped it into the far corner. Turnover, Stone sends it over to Patches, who snipes it. 5-hole. It's at this point, I'm home, watching the game by myself. My wife is out with her cousin. I was enjoying this game. I was probably eating popcorn and drinking an orange vanilla Coca-Cola from a can, which I miss sorely, by the way. I remember sitting there in that apartment, feeling comfortable. And you can believe different if you want, but I wholeheartedly believe that nothing I say or do has any impact on what goes on in sporting arenas across the country. So I could have been like doing whatever I wanted to in my house and it would have had no impact or outcome on this game. I believe as well that my wife, same thing applies. So in no way am I blaming her, but this story is so funny that I have to share it. So they get home, my wife and her cousin, and they walk into the apartment, they see that I'm watching the game, they see that they're up 3-0, and my wife, who is pregnant at this time with our son, and she is a very empathetic person. She loves sports, she played lacrosse growing up, very competitive, but at the same time, it's in her nature that she feels bad for fans and for players and knows that this is the last game of their season if Vegas wins this. And so Peary, 2-on-1, takes a shot, Jones makes a save, covers up, 4 minutes left until the incident. I feel like I'm counting down until like a nuclear blast, like it's T-minus 3 minutes till detonation. The post makes the stop, McNabb clears it out, good body position against the Sharks to really box him out. And then less than a minute later, Patches scores. That's crazy. So she's pregnant and has those hormones and all that jazz. And this would have been what, mid to late April. So we hadn't really told anyone yet. But she sees this, sits down, goes, well, you know, I feel bad. I just want them to maybe just get one. End their season on at least somewhat of a reconciliation prize or whatever. And I'm not even joking, a minute later, similar to the San Jose to Patches goal the other end of the ice, is when that face-off happens. I'm getting sick. I am getting physically ill. And like, why am I doing it? Oh man, I'm nauseous. Am I pregnant? Holy moly. I'm on the verge of crying. What is wrong with me? I'm so glad I didn't have a channel when this was happening. Because live, I would have been recording myself because I record my reactions live to playoff games to include in my videos. And I don't know what would have happened. 12 minutes left. It happens around 10 minutes and 40 something seconds. There's another hour left of game time, which is nuts. The game itself is 2 hours and 15 minutes on Amazon Prime, and I'm only an hour and 15 minutes in. And it's the third period with 11 minutes left. Like, that is just, oh! Timo Meier, turnover from, I think it was Stone, who just sent it blindly back into the slot. It could have been Miller, Colin Miller. And it led to Meier having this wide open slap shot from the top of the slot. Fleury's made 23 saves. Oh, here it is. Pavelski and Eakin tied up. No, it wasn't that. Fleury makes the save. 10 minutes and 54 seconds. This is the second face-off. Wow. Okay. Interesting background here. Paul Stastny is the center on the face-off dot, and he loses the face-off. And so immediately after losing the face-off and giving San Jose another shot on goal, this is like 3-4 seconds later, Fleury makes a stop. He takes Stone off the ice and sends on Cody Eakin to take the draw. And so Cody Eakin is at the face-off dot with Joe Pavelski, Stastny off to the corner.
Face-off went back to Burns. Oh, Pavelski was dropped. He's lying on the ice. And right away they're calling for the athletic therapist. And Pavelski's bleeding.
And I have no ill will towards Joe Pavelski. Like, he's Captain America. He they're throwing stuff onto the ice in San Jose. Couture is asking Stastny what happened. They're trying to talk through what's going on. Pavelski gets up. He's bleeding. There's blood on the ice. It's from his head. He's being skated off with the trainers, and his teammates are helping him. And they're grabbing his stuff. Hurdle and Meier are grabbing the equipment. Pavelski just retired as a member of the Dallas Stars. And, like, out of all the Sharks that I despised in this series, like, Pavelski wasn't one of them. And in this moment, I first looked at my wife because she had just said that.
And when Paul Stastny pushes through,
I don't think Stastny didn't push through. I don't think he like pushed him down. I think he was just trying to Eakin with the cross check. In my opinion, this is a double minor. Carlson from the point sends it on. Couture scores. 6 seconds in. Saying that's one to Carlson. And it's at this point where I'm like, there's so much time. And my wife immediately feels bad. She's immediately like, well, like, okay, that's their one, right? Like trying to be positive, trying to talk it to me about it. She blames herself because she doesn't ascribe to the same belief in superstitions when it comes to sports, but she immediately felt bad. And like, I love her to pieces. Like this, I in no way blamed her. Fleury made a save. So up to this point, San Jose went 0 for 4 on the power play. They immediately score on this one. If it was a double minor, there would have been 2 minutes left in their power play because the first one would have been wiped. And the emotion from San Jose in this moment to be able to try to rally around their captain who just went down the tunnel and is being looked at, and they're trying their hardest to, you know, win it for him so he can still play later in the playoffs. Like, definitely palpable. And as much as I hated the Sharks and hate that this moment happened to my team, I can't. Hey, Zoom is in the corner as an ad. That's weird because this is 2019. I'm not so blinded. Carlson sends it on, scores. Hurdle tipped it past Fleury. 3-2, and there's still 4 minutes left on this power play. It would have been, if it had been a double minor, it would have been 5-on-5 from here on out, but there's still 4 minutes left of a major power play. And Vegas, I don't know what they're doing. The penalty kill up to this point had been perfect. This happens, and like, it's a tip from Hurdle. It's a fantastic tip. England McNabb could have tried to block it, but like, I don't know what England was doing there. McNabb was tied up with Meyer, and England just kind of. At this point, it would have been 5-on-5 if it was a double minor. They're still down by 1 with 10 minutes to go in the period. Like, San Jose still probably could have won this game even if it wasn't a major penalty. I am not so blinded to not see how incredible this moment is in sports history. This is a fantastic game. Is an all-time greatest playoff game in NHL history. And this sucks. San Jose has a ton of momentum. 3 minutes left on the power play. Carlson shot. Nyquist sends it around. They keep possession. Vegas is unable to clear. They look like they're skating through mud. They're not doing anything to try to disrupt anything. San Jose is just going all over him. It's half over, and they've only scored half the goals they're going to score on this power play. Up to this point, Fleury had been phenomenal. If I'm Gerard Gallant, after that second goal, I immediately call my timeout. Like, I know there's so much time left. You still got the lead, but like, you need to settle down this group. You need to have the players from Vegas start to be like, guys, let's lock it in. Come on. Like, wake up. And that didn't happen. Minute and a half left. They just killed off 2.5 minutes straight of penalty without allowing the goal. But San Jose had all the momentum, and Couture from the point blast one past Fleury to tie the game. Minute and 20 seconds left to go on the power play. 7 minutes left to go in the third period. And it's absolute bedlam inside of the Shark Tank. Now, Gallant calls the timeout, and it's 1 goal too late. They just pan to Vegas' bench, and all of them are just like, they're just stunned. Fleury was screened on that third goal. You can't really blame him for either of those. That one you can blame him for. Kevin LeBanc, who had, for the first period, been San Jose's best forward on the ice, just skates right up to the goal, fires a shot, left side, pass flurry. San Jose takes a 4-3 lead with 6.5 minutes left to go, 52 seconds left to go on their power play. They just scored 4 goals on 1 power play after going 0 for 4 on the first 4 that they had. My wife started crying at this point because she felt so bad. I'm sitting there just with an absolute disbelief, and I am pleading for anyone on Vegas to step up and just stop the bleeding first before I can even get to asking them to score a goal. My head is in my hands, and I am just shaking my head in complete and utter disbelief about the events that have just transpired. Absolutely pissed about the major penalty still. And yet, oh man, San Jose had another opportunity. Still having full clarity of mind to know that even though that should not have been a major penalty, Vegas really screwed the pooch there on that penalty kill. And finally, the power play comes to the end. The loudest I had heard San Jose all series, the crowd, and I cannot blame them. Insane. To be a San Jose Sharks fan in the building on that game, gotta be one of the most memorable experiences in any of their lives. The penalty kill from Vegas just absolutely sucked there. The pressure that they'd put, the sticks that they'd tried to break up lanes to put pressure on the puck carrier, non-existent that entire major penalty. The entire time I'm hoping Pavelski's okay still. And it's at this point where I'm just absolutely going from pleading to stop the bleeding, rhyme, to begging for any one of Vegas's very talented players to step up and score a tying goal to, I don't even know at this point, because they're never gonna live this down. Like, they are never. Fleury made a really good save. Meyer had an opportunity with a wide open net. Exerting all of his effort, did the splits to go back to the other side of the post. Carlson almost tied the game there. William Carlson. 4 minutes left. And I know when this next goal from Vegas, spoiler alert, they tie it, is undoubtedly one of the most important goals in Vegas Golden Knight franchise history. And, oh man, almost. Shea Theodore, Martin Jones made the initial save, and it squeaked past him just wide of the net. Vegas gets a power play, which, cool consolation prize there, refs. Like, it's not their fault. Like, given the rules that were in place at this time, there's nothing they could have done differently. And I do not blame them for saying that it was a 5-minute major when it wasn't. Kevin LeBanc hooking on Schmidt, which is a legitimate penalty. Vegas now takes their timeout. And San Jose, the players have got to be riding this absolute ridiculous high. Like, there's no way that they're going to lose this game, right? And yet, one of the most important goals in franchise history from Vegas is going to be completely forgotten, despite the fact that it is the goal scorer's it's his favorite goal he's ever scored. Vegas has had several opportunities already to try to tie the game, and when it mattered most, Martin Jones with a ridiculous high glove rob on Mark Stone. I'm still not speaking. When I'm watching this live, this is all going on, and I'm still unable to speak. I'm just sitting there in complete silence. And my wife had to leave the room because me not being able to respond. She thought I was mad at her, and I wasn't, and I tried to say that. I was like, I'm 99% sure I said it before Vegas ties it, but during the major penalty kill, time moved so slowly. It was unbelievably slow, snail's pace. And here, ever since they took the lead, time has been going at the most ridiculously insane pace. It was just flying by. 2 minutes left, 30 seconds left to go on the power play. Smith sends it in. wide from Peary. My heart is in my diaphragm and I can't breathe like that. And this is the second year of this team's existence at this point, and I'm just in complete and utter shock. Like, I know like Vegas fans have never seen anything like this. No one had ever seen anything like this before. This had been like so unbelievable that A, fans dunking on Vegas had every right to. B, Fleury to the bench, 20 seconds left, minute 59 seconds left in the full third period. That's why this was so monumental. It had never happened since like the 80s or whenever, you know, just a ridiculous, and the fact that it happened in a game 7 of a series where the teams and fan bases absolutely hated each other just was so entertaining from the standpoint of anyone not rooting for these two teams. San Jose clears, the power play is over, Vegas 6-on-5. I'm shaking my head even though I know Vegas ties this, and San Jose has this aura about them of we've got this, and Vegas, it just panned over to their bench and they still just like nothing. Pacioretty hit the post, 1 minute left. Everyone's on their feet. I jumped up to my feet at this point and staying seated because, for the camera. Marchessault scores. 47 seconds left. Silence. Smith, Marchessault, short side on Jones. I don't know how that got past Jones. Jonathan Marchessault's face is like basically what the rest of the Sharks' faces were up until that point. He was the one, and now he's gonna provide that for Nashville. I just got a whole different kind of sick here. And the thing is you'd think, oh, 47 seconds left, we're gonna go to overtime. Wow, but San Jose just had a chance. Vegas just had an unbelievable chance. They couldn't settle the puck to get the puck on net, but Kane blocked by Schmidt, and that'll do it. The rest of this intermission, I am just talking to my wife, and I think I laid down. Like I just couldn't anymore. And then the overtime starts, and it's a long one. I don't know what Erik Karlsson just drank. It looked kind of like a 5-hour energy. I don't know. Game 6 was in double overtime, and it was a shorthanded goal for San Jose that won them the game. So these players are gotta be exhausted. This is a grueling series. A few overtime games, including the double overtime, and this one takes basically all of this overtime. We already watched the biggest aspect of this game, getting to see the buildup towards this monumental collapse, generational collapse from the Vegas Golden Knights and their penalty kill specifically. And as much as it was a collapse for Vegas, it was absolutely, like, I'm not trying to take away anything that the Sharks did, because what they did was phenomenal. Obviously, Golden Knights fan for life. Vegas born and raised. This team is the world to me. I am a hockey fan first, and I get it. Like, hockey is just such an incredible sport, and the San Jose Sharks, to do what they did, is the stuff of scripts. And the only way that it could appropriately end would be what ends up happening. And it, like, I think it adds to it that Vegas scored to tie it, sends it to overtime, and then in overtime, it finishes the way that it does. But this video is gonna be so long. Fleury, amazing saves a minute into overtime. Meyer takes the initial shot and then also gets his rebound for Fleury to make 2 back-to-back saves. Paul and Miller with a good defensive stick to prevent another chance for San Jose. This is Brendan Peary's Stanley Cup playoff debut too. Like, he hasn't been terrible, but he's missed a couple of shots wide, and 2.5 minutes in and San Jose is just playing, they're just toying with Vegas at this point. Vegas is making sloppy moves after sloppy moves. Their passes are not doing what they need to. Their clear attempts are getting they're really poor. If I'm Gallant, I would have played Marchessault more than anyone else, because he really is the only one with like the fire to fuel him to make that play. Obviously the rest of them are trying, but like Stastny looks tired, Patches looks like he's trying to play very defensively. McNabb shot. 3 Sharks ganging up on Pacioretty, take his helmet off and throw it into the net. If Vegas won this game, there's the whole saying of winning erases everyone's memories of everything else bad that happened. So like, for example, Florida almost blew the 3-0 series lead in the final to the Oilers, right? But they won. So we don't really even talk about the fact that they blew a 3-0 series lead in the final. We talk about how the Florida Panthers got their first Stanley Cup and how the Oilers failed to with a bunch of like Corey Perry, Connor McDavid. If Vegas had won this, like, yeah, that would be a talking point. Like, wow, really, they allowed 4 goals on the 1 power play, but like it largely would have been forgotten. I'm sure Sharks fans wouldn't have let us forget. The same way that Kraken fans won't let us forget that they shut us out in the Winter Classic with Joey Decord. I really just want to skip to the end and just have San Jose's winning goal. I'm done. I miss hockey, but I'm good waiting another month. It's really good to see Fleury wearing the Vegas Golden Knights jersey again. But if we didn't get rid of Fleury, we wouldn't have gotten Brossoit, most likely. Which means that, you know, who knows what would have happened for the playoff series against the Jets. As Timo Meier has an opportunity and Fleury makes a save, disrupting Meier's real attempt. Again, Fleury, doorstop cross-crease save on Timo Meier. Fleury was the reason we made it to the finals in our inaugural year. Like, he played unbelievably out of his mind until the final, especially against Winnipeg and LA. But right now, the only reason that Vegas is still playing after 6 minutes of overtime is because of Marc-Andre Fleury. And our forwards are either being sloppy or having really bad puck luck. None of their passes are connecting. There's another opportunity in front of the net, but they can't quite get to the puck after bouncing off of Jones. That was the first time all overtime that Vegas had really generated anything, and it's that misfit line. Marches over to Nosek, sends it over to Tuck, who sends it wide. Up to this point, and I'm just gonna full-on spoilers for this point. Barclay Goodrow, he is the one that wins this, and there's gonna be like a minute, almost 2 left in overtime. But I haven't seen him at all at this point in overtime. Like, he's been like, if he's been on the ice, I have not noticed him. This would have been the time for Vegas to score. Like, obviously any of them could have been time for them to score, but San Jose just iced the puck twice. Kevin LeBanc and Jumbo Joe Thornton are both still out on the ice and have been for a while. Tuck and Theodore both went for the puck, and Tuck ends up getting it and sends it on, but sends it high into the netting. If Theodore had gotten that, I wonder what would have happened. Timo Meier wide open, blasts it just wide. Wow, Peary. Carlson got tripped, no call. If it wasn't overtime in Game 7, that would have been a penalty. Timo Meier has been unbelievable in this overtime, and Fleury has been making incredible stops. This is agonizing. I just want to be done. I want to eat lunch. I want to have something else that I can be doing. But instead, I promised myself I would do this for, hopefully, if you like this, if you like watching me suffer or suffering with me, hit the like and subscribe. Yay. Just trickled wide. I know what happens. Why am I getting worked up about that? Marchessault sends it on from the slot after Fleury made an incredible save, and Jones stops it, but it trickles past him just wide of the right post. It's crazy to me that Barclay Goodrow probably gets the shift that he does because of that shift right there from San Jose. They had relentless pressure. They were able to create these chances and make sure that they maintained possession of the puck in their offensive zone, despite the fact that Vegas had done this thing. And then he back-checked 200 feet down the ice to prevent chances the other way for Riley Smith, and just incredible work from him there to then probably earn that shift at the end of the overtime period that he eventually, And again, like, San Jose up to this point has had a majority of the pressure and the really good opportunities. Vegas has had a couple of them, and they could have capitalized on any of them. But San Jose has outplayed Vegas for a majority of this game, including overtime. I know it's getting so much closer to that moment, and the closer it gets to it, the more there it is. You could feel it coming. The Sharks just creating this tidal wave of water heading towards this dam that was Marc-Andre Fleury essentially. And just little bit by little bit, you could tell like there are cracks forming and it's gonna break. And Vegas tried a couple of times to be able to score before that happened, but unable to do it. And Barclay Goodrow, my friend Gavin, cements this sports moment. I'm trying to be too clever here. This sucks. Oh. Gallant just went and led the Vegas coaches towards handshaking San Jose's at the bench. And the smiles on San Jose's players' faces is incredible. Just outside the outstretched right toe of Marc-Andre Fleury. Cool, well, now I need therapy again. Thanks for coming here. I don't even know when I'm gonna get around to editing this because this is already gonna be a really long video for me to edit, but also, I don't wanna have to watch this again. Oh. Okay, how much more would this suck if we hadn't won the cup 2 years ago, a little over a year ago? Theodore looks so young.
Real quick, one thing I failed to mention simply because I was a little overwhelmed with my emotions at the time, but is completely relevant and in hindsight makes me 100% grateful that we got booted by the Sharks in the first round, albeit probably not in that manner, and I will never be watching that game again. But Shea Theodore had testicular cancer and they caught it super early, especially with the type that he had. After they biopsied the mass that they removed, it was revealed that it was embryonal and seminoma stage 1, which can be very aggressive and spread to the abdominal lymph nodes relatively quickly, the embryonal one. And so because it was caught early, because of the comprehensive blood testing that was done when him and Marshy went to Worlds right after they got booted from the first round. So if he didn't have that blood test from Worlds right after, because if they had made it even to the second round, like who knows what would have happened, because this happened right after their silver medal, when they won the silver medal. And so I am extremely grateful that we got booted in the first round, because it means Shea Theodore is still an active superstar with us. And he's still here and he's not battling this debilitating disease, and he had testicular cancer and it got caught early. And so I could not imagine, he even says, he wrote this article that I'm going to link in the description, could not imagine what would have happened if they hadn't caught it this early. And so while he didn't openly admit it was because they got booted in the first round, but he says, we were planning on going on a deep run, and because we got kicked so early, Worlds all of this was able to be found out. And so I'm extremely grateful for that. And in hindsight, we'll 10 out of 10 take that again every single time, despite the humiliating loss to the Sharks. I would highly suggest even just reading that article from Shea Theodore, because it touches on a lot of cool different key factors that happened, including running into future teammate Phil Kessel. And so I would highly suggest reading that just for enlightenment and just to have a heartfelt, good, wholesome story to read.
That's gonna be it for today's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching and have a good night. Good night.